Get physical again. Ty Lue said it. You know, they did it in Game 4 despite the fact that a well-known actor brought a broom into Quicken Loans Arena, and Michael Rappaport didn't quite work out the way you expected.
Well, when I was there, the broom worked out, and then I left town without the broom, and Golden State lost. So, obviously, Golden State didn't sweep, so tonight I'm bringing the plunger.
Well, a lot of people think he's going to position himself for his run again in 2020. It's not unprecedented. If you go back to 1976, Ronald Reagan did that. But the difference is Reagan did endorse Gerald Ford. And then, of course, 4 years later, Reagan won in a landslide. So we'll see what happens. The people I talked to one delegate who said if Cruz does not endorse Trump, his career is over. I don't believe that. Other people say he's not going to do it. Frank Luntz, the political analyst, by the way, just read a tweet, said that Hillary Clinton's name has been mentioned more in speeches at this convention than Donald Trump's. And that may not change tonight when Ted Cruz takes the podium. Cleveland 19 News at 6 is on the way. Mark is here, joining Ramona as our RNC coverage continues from the Q. All right, Tony Zarrella back here live outside the White House. It was so nice today in D.C. They held the ceremony on the South Lawn. The Cavaliers, of course, brought the jersey, number 16 for the president, brought the trophy too. And the president, he brought his A game.
That's right, I said world champion and Cleveland in the same sentence.
All right, let's keep this rolling here. The next one, interesting as well. How about this one? Shamani, shoot yourself in the head twice in the same hole. That's the great thing about sports. Unlike politics and religion, you can engage in a debate and not make it personal. And the search for a missing Parma teenager intensified tonight. Police and the FBI searched the metro parks near Katarina Bitterman's home for hours and came up empty. Shelby Miller here now with where the investigation goes from here. Shelby? Well, you can't make this one up. A mayor of a small town in South Carolina is in some hot water after sheriff's deputies caught him riding his lawnmower at night down a country road with a can of beer. When the officers tried to pull him over, he just kept driving, leading them on a slow-speed chase. He eventually pulled over, telling the officers, "I'm only going to get gas for the mower." Well, they must have believed him because they let him go. And now some in the small town are furious, saying he was given preferential treatment. Well, the FBI report into sexual misconduct allegations against Brett Kavanaugh is complete. And now the Senate is ready to vote on his Supreme Court confirmation. Senators were allowed today into a secured briefing room to take turns reviewing the FBI's report.
But I was surprised. I asked you off camera if you thought LeBron would leave. I was surprised you said a resounding yes.
I think, of course, I think he did what he wanted to do here. I think this is just my opinion, but I have some information. But who knows if he's made a decision. I think he's ready for another chapter in his life. This was the chapter of coming home and delivering to Northeast Ohio. Those emotions in Oakland were real when he broke down on the court because he had fulfilled that chapter of his life. I personally believe moving forward, he'll go to the Lakers. He'll start addressing the business opportunities in Hollywood and phase out of basketball over a few years. But we'll see.
Tony Zarrella is live inside the Q now. Tony.
Yeah, the second time, by the way, in his career that he returns to the Q as a member of the opposing team. You can't forget the first time, December 2nd, 2010, when he came back with the Miami Heat, and the reception was vicious. This is far different, obviously, because he returned home and he delivered that championship and took the Cavs to 4 straight NBA Finals. Now we're on to Pittsburgh. Browns have not beaten the Steelers in 4 years. They haven't beaten them there in 15, but none of the previous 133 meetings included Baker Mayfield. So I am putting on my rose-colored glasses to talk about why we have a shot against these guys, and I'm not referring to Hugh Jackson possibly getting more involved. Less than a month away from the NFL draft, and you're going to hear a lot of familiar terms used to describe players that mean absolutely nothing. They're stupid cliches, and even worse, in some cases, racially insensitive and just plain wrong. So here is a list of terms you can just toss right into the trash. Why is it if a guy's an athlete, he's probably black, which means he's talented or a freak, but if he's cerebral or a grinder or has football IQ, he's white? If he has high football IQ, he's also white, and he speaks well to the media. But if a black guy doesn't talk to the media, he has an attitude problem?
Hope everyone enjoys this as much as we do. All the times that you ain't on my parade, and all the clubs you got and using my name.
This team was in the national tournament a couple years ago in Toronto. Now we haven't won a game in the Trump administration. What is the problem?
Tony, in the words of the late John McKay, It's all about team execution.
Are you in favor of that?
And I'm all in favor of it. Yeah, no, thanks, Tony. I'll do the jokes. Try to be the stay man.
It was announced in an essay, a far simpler and better way to announce this type of seismic shift than his previous one 4 years earlier, and obviously much more positive for Northeast Ohio. But while the Cavaliers once again had big plans and the fans big dreams, who could really have imagined the wonderful and wild 4-year ride that LeBron would take us on? It was as though coming home had re-energized him as much as the franchise and fan base. For all of his success in South Florida, there was unfinished business at home. Even his former boss, Pat Riley, who had courted him to Miami, told him to make it right. LeBron would. It took 2 years, a change in coaches, and a couple of key sidekicks, but the King delivered the NBA crown. It seemed fitting that it came in historic fashion, the comeback, but LeBron also delivered so much more along the way. For local businesses, tens of millions. For the city itself, international relevance. For the fans, nightly glimpses into greatness. LeBron's commitment to his craft, to his body, unparalleled. The ongoing evolution of his game, incredible. NBA records falling as fast as conference opponents. And it all started with the homecoming. The misery montage, which we know all too well, finally was updated. Now we had the block, followed by Kyrie's The Shot, and after 52 long years, the parade. 2 more trips to the NBA Finals would follow, making it 4 in 4 years, and making it impossible for anyone who lived through the decades of sports heartache to take any of this for granted. It won't last forever. Nothing does. It may not even last the summer. But the impact that a kid from Akron has made on and off the court, and the memories that he created, will.